going on? Welcome back to another day of my 2012 Halloween countdown. Today's video we're going to be talking about The Thing. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. Definitely one of those movies that really scared me when I was very young. I saw this on cable way before I should have. I saw this probably 1984, something like that, 1983. It was whenever it very first went to HBO, which was probably a year or two after the theaters. I was pretty young. I watched a double feature of this with Poltergeist, and they both basically fried me. Looking back on it now, the way this movie scared me is what made it stick with me. I think this is a great movie for many reasons. I'll get into kind of like the plot summary here, which is scientists are at Antarctica, and they're doing some studies, and they end up finding out that there's something going on, and they go to investigate, and what they find is this thing. And they're not quite for sure what it is or what happened, and it starts to evolve into a story where you can't tell who's who and what's what. It's almost like a mystery, and I love that aspect of it. I think it's a great John Carpenter film. It's got that very Carpenter-esque music. I think the special effects are phenomenal. For its time, this is so above and beyond anything anybody expected that it scared an entire generation that never really had seen anything close to what John Carpenter was able to put on the screen. They often point out that John Carpenter was one of the very first people that tried so much in broad daylight. And what I mean by that is there was no real camera tricks to speak of. Most of the cheats were unnoticeable. In most movies like this, you kind of hide a lot of the special effects in the darkness. And in this one, he tried very hard to put most of those out in the daylight so that everybody could see them, and he wanted to focus on how real it was, not how much you could show and, kind of hide the rest behind shadows, smoke and mirrors. So it was an amazing film, and looking back on it 30 years later, I have no complaints. I love it. I think it holds up really well over time. I think there's a lot of backstory here that I really was interested in. The new Thing prequel thing, that has the almost exact same name as this one. It didn't really answer a lot of those, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I'd hoped. But what I really enjoy about this is the Thing itself has such a strange mystery around it. So I always love certain parts about it. I don't want to say too much with giving it away, but if you guys haven't seen The Thing, if you're a fan of what people call sci-fi horror, which there's not a whole lot of really popular sci-fi horror movies, but there's a handful that are always at the top of everybody's list, and this is, right there at the top for me. But if you've never seen The Thing, definitely check it out. It kind of feels great during the winter to watch this because it's all about the snow and the cold and everything else. So I usually start watching about Halloween, and then sometimes I'll watch it again at Christmas. I mean, that's just me. That's kind of funny and weird. One of Kurt Russell's best, one of John Carpenter's best, and my pick for the day. I love it. So definitely go check out The Thing from 1982. Hey guys, what's going on? Just want to come back here to do another bonus segment. Today we're actually going to be talking about a beverage. And it's a beverage of sorts, because this is actually more of an additive to a beverage. Some of the things you're going to need here is just going to be your personal preference. But what I'm going to recommend, you're definitely going to need an ice cube tray. Possibly, depending on how many people you have, you may want to get multiple ice cube trays. But just the cheap ones that you can get at a dollar store or Walmart or whatever, that's fine. The next thing you're also going to want to get are some of these single serve packages of different kinds of mixed drinks. Usually I prefer the ones that are low in sugar or sugar-free just because they're very concentrated, and that's very important. This one here is one that I got that's in a bigger package. This actually makes 2 quarts, so you have to be careful with these larger ones, but this is one I prefer. This one here is a margarita mix. It's great for the color green, and that's kind of what I got this for, is cherry for the color red. What you're going to do is probably need a water bottle. I recommend if you can find this one, that's good for these larger ones. If you can find the half water bottle, that's really good for these single serve packets. And I'll show you what they look like. They all look like these here, and they usually say add these to like a 12 or 16 ounce bottle. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to double that. So in other words, you're going to want to mix this with twice as many packages or have half as much water. But if you mix in a water bottle, it makes it really easy to pour this into here without making a mess. So what you'll do on this 2-quart one is add probably half of these to a water bottle, or maybe 2 of these. And then what you're going to do is when you mix that up, it'll be really concentrated. It'll be very, very green or very, very red. That's what you really want. What we're going to be making here is some different flavored ice cubes. And that's something I've always enjoyed since I was a kid. Back then, we used to make our own kind of ice pops using Kool-Aid. And it's kind of a cool thing that translates well with Halloween because you can make some really crazy colors. Blood red, or maybe alien blood green, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you could use orange and use it as a Halloween color. But it does really well with clear liquids. So if you want to add it to something like Sprite or 7-Up, it's actually going to really, really show. And as it dissolves, it's going to color your drink. You can also add it to your favorite adult alcoholic beverages if you're an adult of drinking age. I also like it for specific things that go well with the flavor that you're going to add. You won't see a lot of color difference if you add it to something like Coke, but if you want to make a cherry Coke that way, these work really well. And as any good cooking style host would do, and as you see, when you double concentrate that, look how bright those colors are. See how awesome that is? Okay, go ahead and crack this boy here. You'll notice that these aren't as crisp as regular ice. They're a little bit on the sticky side, and that's very normal. I'm going to use this tray, turn it over, so you can get some good look at the color. And as you can see how much concentration this has, you'll definitely want to get cheap ones of these that you don't use a lot because they will have to go back to the dishwasher and be scrubbed thoroughly. And for this part here, I'll bring you guys in closer so you can see what these look like. Watch as you can see what this looks like when you add a drink to it. You get that great kind of pinkish red color, and immediately it starts dissolving and you get a red drink. That's pretty good. It's already got a cherry flavor immediately. You probably want to drink these fairly fast. Keep your Sprite, whatever kind of beverage, very cold so it won't melt quite as fast. That's very good. And that's with the cherry, which gives it kind of a blood red color. Very cool. And you can barely notice the ice in there. I also think that that's a great additive. We're going to try it now with the green. And then add in your liquid here. And see how cool that looks there. It's got a different, very green color to it. It's already got a very tart taste to it. I love it. Kind of tastes sort of like one of those sour Jelly Ranchers. It's great. Here's the 2 drinks that we made. It's great colors, very fun for Halloween. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. All right, take care.